Hello there. So here's how to understand nutrition facts, actually. So we're going to go through the whole breakdown of each thing on the label just to make sure you understand what they mean and how you should interpret those. So first of all, well, we're going to get back to the calories afterwards because calories, everybody know that. So first, in this particular here soup, noodles from Katali, we have fats, of course, a little fat. So basically there is 1.5 gram of fat out of the portion, which is 85 gram of fats, right? And so the good news is that this fat is not saturated or trans. Those two fats you might want to avoid most of the time. You need those, actually, especially the saturated fat to live, because you need fat for certain hormones in your body. The trans fat, though, is completely useless and a real danger for your health, so you want to avoid that. So basically, there is 1.5 gram of fats in this food right now, but as it's not saturated or trans, it's other kind. There is two other kinds. There is the poly and the mono, and actually those two fat are really good for the health. So if you want to know, this fat on this one is a good fat. After we got the cholesterol, actually cholesterol is actually what I learned recently is that if you eat cholesterol, you won't rise your bad cholesterol. Actually, what rises the bad cholesterol is the saturated fat. So if you want to drop it, you have to eat less saturated fat. What's good in that, and I'm surprised actually, it says that in those noodles there's no sodium. In most soup actually nowadays you got well, not so bad ingredients actually, and pretty good nutrition facts. You got not too much fat and good fiber and so on. But then again, there is a bunch of sodium, and you know what? Actually, sodiums in most cases, well, first of all, it's not good for your body because actually your arteries, or actually. I'm not sure it's the right word actually for English, but anyway. And also sodium, what you might not know is that in most cases, if you don't drink enough water, will make you bloated. So you'll look more fat if you eat very high sodium nutrients all the time. So here in this case, I'm pretty surprised because it's a processed food, right? And there's no sodium at all, so it's very good. After that, you have the carbohydrates, right? So there is a breakdown here. Basically, there is 64 grams of carbohydrates out of 85 grams of the portion, right? Which is a really big part, which is pretty predictable as it's a whole grain food, right? So whole grain food normally are a majority of carbohydrates with pretty much low protein and a little bit of fat, but not too much. And so actually you see 64, but underneath you only got breakdown for fiber and sugar, right? So out of the 64, there is 3 grams of fiber. Fiber are good for digestion and of course going to the toilet. Number 2, and there is a little bit of sugar, which is actually regular white sugar, which is really good. There is only 3 grams out of 64, so that's good. And so where is the remaining actually 58 grams, you ask? Well, basically this is just the carbohydrates coming from the whole grain, so that's good carbohydrates. It's not, you know, refined sugar like the sugar here in the 3 grams, so that's good. And finally there is protein, but maybe you would like to know that this is protein, but actually protein coming incomplete. So it's not like food or eggs or milk. It's not complete. So basically you can use those for bodybuilding or anything. Actually, to use those, you would have to complete them with different combination like grains and beans and some other things like that, like the vegan use to make the protein complete actually. So actually those would be used, but not as muscle food. And then, yeah, well, you have a breakdown on what's in it, actually, in terms of vitamins and minerals. And most people, actually, regarding the percentage here, most people think that, well, actually, I don't know why, but most people think that there is, for example, let's take the fat, that 2% would be that there is, out of the 85 gram, 2% of fats. Well, that's not how you should read it, actually. How you should read it is that there is a daily value here that it is established, and basically the daily value, let's only put daily value here, but normally it's based if you eat 2,000 calories in a day, that would be the recommended percentage out of which you can eat for 2,000 calories. So basically you got 2% that would be recommended in a day for 2,000 calories, right? So that's how you should understand that. Same thing for the carbohydrates and, calcium, iron. So there is 20% of your recommended dose of iron in this, if you eat 2,000 calories in this 85 gram of soup noodle. So that's pretty much it. And actually everything adding up basically to 320 calories is basically the 1.5 kilogram of fat, the 64 gram of carbohydrates, and the 11 gram of protein. And how we count calories? Well, basically it's fairly easy. There is 4 calories per gram of carbohydrates and 4 calories per gram of protein. And if you want to know, well, fat is a little bit more than the double. It's actually 9 calories by gram of fat. So if you do the total, you should end up at 320. So that's pretty much it. That's how you should read a nutrition fact. And I hope this video will help you choose, well, maybe better food, or actually understand a better way, in a better way, how to shop and how to choose your food. All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.